Watch you guys, got another video here for you. Now if you're a Virgin Media customer, then this is going to be a really important video because the router that you're using, if it's the SuperHub 2 version, can be very easily hacked according to the media and also Virgin Media themselves. So let's take a look here. I'm going to go on to the website here, BBC News. You can see Virgin Media urges password change over hacking risk. And it's been widespread across all the news channels, and as you can see here, they're asking you to either upgrade to the Hub 3.0, and you can call them and ask them for an upgrade. In the meantime, you may want to change your password. Now also here you can see every news channel, more than 800,000 people have been advised to change their passwords, and the reason for this is because a lot of people are still using a default password on the bottom of their router. So if you've got something looking like this, which is the SuperHub 2, then this is the password that you need to change. I'll take you through the steps to show you how to do it if you're not familiar with that sort of stuff. So these are the devices, smart devices, which they're using to hack through to your computer. You can see here problems detected with these here: Virgin Media Hub 2, Amazon Echo, yes, all these devices which will connect through, they can hack through your computer. And the reason for it is, if you look at the screen here, go on the internet and search for Virgin Media SuperHub 2 router can be hacked, you'll see loads of sites that are all talking about this leak. And it's very latest news, it's only happened a day ago. So if you're looking at the bottom of the router right now, this is the screen, you'll see the bottom of the router, and you'll see the password for the router is called Change Me, and a lot of people have left that as default, and that allows people to access the router. Also, if you look at the Wi-Fi on the screen, you'll see a default Wi-Fi and a phrase name there, and you need to change that as well, and I'll show you how to do that right now. It's pretty straightforward and easy to do. So what you're going to do is go to your browser and type into your browser 192.168.0.1. This page will pop up. Once you get this page popping up, you want to put in your default password for your router, and it will be on the bottom of the router, and if it's called Change Me, then you haven't changed it. If you don't know what this password is, then you can reset your password back to the default, which is called Change Me, and you'll be able to push the button on the bottom of your router, which will reset the router back to default settings, and that will allow you to get into your router to change that. Okay, now I've already changed this password to something super long, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And there we are, we're into our router settings. Now inside here you want to go into your wireless network settings. Inside here you're going to see your wireless network settings for your router, and by default it will have the same information that's on the bottom of the router if you haven't changed it, and it will be the phrase here, which will be identical for 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. You'll see it will be like this. Also the SSID will be like this as well for 2 gigahertz and also 5 gigahertz. You can change both of these to something that you want to be recognized by. Also you'll see here that this is what's being displayed when you're searching for your home network. So it's always advisable to change these. Now as you can see here, this is only got 8 characters, and this makes it very easy for someone to guess this, because they know this, because these are all standard, so they're not changed. So you want to change these to something more difficult, and you can see up to 63 characters and between 8 characters. So let me show you this website here. This is a website from Steve Gibson, and this will generate passwords, and they'll never be the same, and they're very complex, as you can see here. Now every time you push the reset on the browser, these will change, so they'll never be the same. as you can see here. So if I push reset, there you go. Now you're looking for here a password to make it very difficult for someone to get through. And as you can see here, alphanumeric characters. So you can see these are like your 0 to 9 and A to Z. And these are ideal. So 63 characters. So you could copy this, go back to your hub if you wanted to, and put in 63 characters if you're that paranoid into here. You could create your own password, that's something that you recognize all the time, and something that's at least 12 characters, which is what they're recommending, at least 12. But if you're super paranoid, you could stick in a 63 character like that. But the only trouble with this method is you're going to have to remember this password anytime that you want to log on to the network. So you're going to have this handy, and reading that out is going to be a pretty difficult thing to read out. So you may want to make it 12 characters if you're that sort of person that enters the security phrase all the time, okay? And don't make it simple. Something like your football team or your dog's name to guess. So make it a little bit more difficult for them to guess, okay? So for instance, if I wanted to put that 63 character in there, I would put it in both sides of these here, and you can also change this to something that you want to, rather than leaving it as VM 421300-2G and in 5G. You can call it whatever you like. So we can call this we're just going to use this as an example, but that is not really ideal either. But if you wanted to, you could actually change this like so. So now we have the same password for both of these, and also we have changed the SSID to something that we can recognize, but make it a little bit more difficult like that. Now once you've done that, you can save this, say yes. It will take a bit of time, take up to 60 seconds to save those settings to the router itself. So just wait a bit. Okay, so that's now been saved. And of course we're going to go back to the home page here. So next, once we're back here, we're going to go into the super hub settings here, and this will give you access to change the password for your router. So what you can do here is change this. Now I'd advise you to change this to something long, because you're not going to go in here much. So I'd go back to that Steve Gibson's website here and just refresh, and these passwords will never be used by another person. They're only used once. So what you want to do is get a copy of that password there at the bottom, and you can use that as your router password. So you can paste the password inside here and then save that password, and that will be the router password changed. Now I would advise you to keep them safe, and they're pretty extreme passwords, but if you want to be secure, that's what you can do. Now what happens if you forget how to get back into your router? Well, you can reset it, like I said, back to factory defaults. So if you're locked out of this side of the screen, so if you're at this place here and you can't get in and you can't remember your password, you will have to reset your router, and it will go back to change me, and you'll be able to get back in, and then you can follow the process and set it back up again. So Virgin Media have said that it's not just their routers that are at risk. They've said that other companies like TalkTalk and other companies like that are also at risk because they use this same method. Okay, anyway, this is just a heads up for Virgin Media customers. Have a great weekend, guys, and I shall see you again in another video. Bye for now.